They said Jay Leno was just lucky, but what they found in his garage proved them dead wrong. The year was 1973, and Jay Leno was sleeping in his car outside a comedy club in Boston. He had just bombed on stage for the third time that week. The crowd didn't laugh, they didn't even look up from their drinks. Jay walked off stage with $20 in his pocket and nowhere to go. But instead of quitting, he made a promise that would change everything. He would never spend his TV money, no matter how much he made. Every dollar from television would go into something else. Something that would make him richer than any TV show ever could. That something was cars. But not just any cars. Jay started buying machines that other people thought were worthless. Old steam cars from electric vehicles from 1909. Broken down muscle cars that hadn't run in decades. While other celebrities bought mansions and yachts, Jay bought history, and now 40 years later, his collection is worth over $50 million. But the real story isn't about money, it's about obsession. And obsession, as you'll see, can create miracles. Let me tell you about the night everything changed for Jay. It was 1977, and Johnny Carson had just invited him on The Tonight Show. But here's what nobody knows. Jay had been preparing for that moment for 3 years. He practiced his routine 8 hours a day. He memorized every pause, every gesture, every word. When he walked onto that stage, he wasn't just ready, he was perfect. Carson loved him. The audience loved him, and Jay kept coming back. Each appearance made him more famous, more successful. But behind the scenes, he was already planning something bigger. By 1991, Jay had enough money to buy whatever he wanted. Most people would have bought a bigger house or a fancy vacation. Jay bought a garage. Not just any garage, but a 17,000 square foot space near Burbank Airport. His friends thought he was crazy. His manager thought he was wasting money. But Jay knew something they didn't. This garage would become the most incredible collection in the world. The first car he put in that garage was a 1955 Buick Roadmaster. It wasn't the most expensive car or the most famous. But it was special to Jay, because it reminded him of his father. You see, Jay's dad was a mechanic, who taught him that you could understand anything if you were willing to take it apart. That lesson would guide Jay for the rest of his life. Every car he bought, every machine he restored, was a way of connecting with his father's memory. But Jay's collecting wasn't random. He had a plan. While other collectors bought cars to show off, Jay bought cars to drive. Every single vehicle in his garage had to run. No exception, no museum pieces. No cars sitting behind ropes. If a car couldn't be driven, it didn't belong in Jay's world. This philosophy would make him different from every other collector on Earth. The garage grew quickly. By 1995, it was 30,000 square feet. By 2000 it was 60,000. By 2010, it was over 100,000 square feet. Each expansion brought new tools, new equipment, new possibilities. Jay didn't just collect cars. He collected the ability to fix them, restore them, and bring them back to life. He hired the best mechanics money could buy. He bought machines that could make any part for any car ever built. His garage became a time machine where 1906 could meet too. But running The Tonight Show and building a car collection at the same time nearly killed him. Jay would finish taping his show at 6 p.m., then drive to his garage and work until midnight. Every single night for 20 years. His staff thought he was crazy. His wife begged him to slow down, but Jay couldn't stop. The cars called to him. Each one had a story. Each one needed attention. Each one was a piece of history that might be lost forever if he didn't save it. The breakthrough came in 1994 when Jay bought a McLaren F1. This wasn't just any car, it was the fastest production car in the world. Capable of over 240 miles per hour. Jay paid $800,000 for it when most people thought he was insane. Today, that same car is worth $20 million. But here's the crazy part. Jay still drives it. Not just on special occasions, but to the grocery store. To get gas. To run errands. Because in Jay's world, cars are meant to be driven, not worshipped. The McLaren F1 proved Jay's point. Cars aren't just investments. They're experiences. They're connections to the past and bridges to the future. They're proof that humans can create beauty and power and speed all at the same time. But most people never get to experience that, because they're afraid. Afraid of scratches. Afraid of wear. Afraid of actually using the things they own. Jay was never afraid. By 2000, Jay owned over 100 cars. But he wasn't done. He started buying motorcycles. Then trucks. Then vehicles that weren't quite cars, and weren't quite anything else. The Blastoline Special, powered by a tank engine and weighing nearly 10,000 pounds. The EcoJet, a concept car that ran on jet fuel and sounded like a fighter plane. The steam car that nearly killed him in 2022. Each purchase was stranger than the last. But each one taught Jay something new about engineering, about history, about human creativity. The garage became famous without Jay even trying. Word spread through the car community about this comedian, who owned everything from steam cars to supercars. People started asking for tours. Magazines wanted to write stories. Other celebrities wanted to see what Jay had built. But Jay was careful about who he let inside. This wasn't a museum or a showroom. It was his workspace, his sanctuary, his second home. In 2009, NBC tried to push Jay out of The Tonight Show to make room for Conan O'Brien. Jay agreed, but only because he had his garage to fall back on. While other TV hosts would have panicked about losing their show, Jay was excited. More time for cars. More time to drive. More time to work with his hands, instead of just his mouth. The garage had given him something more valuable than fame. It had given him freedom, but freedom came with a price. In November 2022, Jay was working on a 1907 white steam car when disaster struck. A fuel line broke, spraying gasoline all over his face and hands. One spark, and Jay was on fire. The burns were terrible. Second and third degree damage to his face, chest and hands. He was rushed to the hospital where doctors fought to save his life. For weeks, nobody knew if he would survive. For months, nobody knew if he would look the same. But even in the hospital, Jay's first question wasn't about his face or his pain. It was about the car. Was it damaged? Could it be fixed? When would he be able to work on it again? The doctors couldn't believe it. This man had nearly died, and all he cared about was getting back to his garage. That's when everyone realized that Jay's relationship with his cars wasn't just a hobby. It was his life. The accident changed everything. Jay could have sold the garage, retired completely, lived safely ever after. Instead, he went back to work the day he got out of the hospital. The same cars that nearly killed him were calling to him again, and he answered. Because some passions are stronger than fear, stronger than pain, stronger than common sense. Today, Jay owns 1,891 cars, and 160 motorcycles. But numbers don't tell the real story. The real story is about a man who found his calling and followed it no matter what. A man who turned his childhood love of fixing things into a $50 million collection. A man who proved that if you love something enough, you can make it your life's work. The garage is more than just a building now. It's a symbol, a reminder that success isn't just about making money or becoming famous. It's about finding what makes you happy, and refusing to let anyone take it away from you. Jay found his happiness in engines and exhaust pipes, in steering wheels and spark plugs. He found it in the smell of motor oil and the sound of a perfectly tuned engine. And he never let go. But the most incredible thing about Jay's garage isn't the cars. It's the philosophy behind. Every vehicle runs. Every machine works. Every piece of history is kept alive through use, not preservation. While other collectors lock their cars away, Jay drives his to the grocery store. While other owners worry about scratches, Jay worries about not driving enough. He understood something that most people never learn. The best things in life aren't meant to be saved. They're meant to be enjoyed. The garage employs 15 full-time mechanics and craftsmen. They can rebuild any engine, fabricate any part, restore any car to better than new condition. But their real job isn't fixing cars. It's keeping history alive. Every vehicle they work on is a piece of the past that might be lost forever if they don't save it. They're not just mechanics, they're guardians of human achievement. Jay's collection includes cars from every era of automotive history. Steam cars from the 1900s prove that electric and alternative fuel vehicles aren't new ideas. They're old ideas that we forgot and are now remembering. Classic American muscle cars from the 1960s show what happens when power matters more than efficiency. Modern supercars demonstrate that we can have both power and efficiency if we're willing to pay the price. But the most important car in Jay's collection isn't the most expensive or the most famous. It's a 1955 Buick Roadmaster. The same model his father worked on as a mechanic. Every time Jay drives that car, he remembers why he started collecting in the first place. Not for money or fame, but for connection. Connection to the past, to family, to the simple joy of making something work that was broken. The garage has become a destination for car lovers from around the world. But Jay is careful about who gets to visit. He doesn't want tourists or tire kickers. He wants people who understand that these cars are more than just machines. They're art, history, and engineering all rolled into one. They're proof that humans can create beautiful things when they put their minds to it. Jay's TV show about his garage has won 7 Emmy Awards, and attracts millions of viewers. But the show isn't about showing off. It's about education. Every episode teaches viewers something new about cars, about history, about the people who built these incredible machines. Jay uses his fame to spread knowledge, to inspire others to appreciate automotive culture, to keep the past alive for future generations. The garage continues to grow. New cars arrive every month. New projects begin every week. New challenges present themselves every day. But Jay embraces it all because he knows something that most people never learn. The journey is more important than the destination. The work is more rewarding than the result. The process of restoration is more satisfying than the finished product. Jay Leno's garage proves that passion can conquer anything. Money, fame, success, failure, even death. When you find something you truly love, something that makes you feel alive, nothing else matters. Not what other people think, not what makes sense, not what's practical or safe, or smart. Only what makes you happy. And happiness, as Jay discovered, is worth more than any amount of money. The man who once slept in his car outside comedy clubs, now owns more cars than most people will ever see. The kid who learned to fix engines in his father's garage, now runs the most incredible automotive collection in the world. But the real miracle isn't what Jay built. It's that he never stopped building. At 74 years old, he's still buying cars, still driving them, still fixing them with his own hands. Because some dreams never end. They just get bigger. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more incredible collections that will blow your mind.